Hey everyone, welcome to Craftmas, where I'll be sharing a quick tip, hack, or Christmas tutorial every day leading up to December 25th. Let's get to it. Happy December 6th! For today's Craftmas, we're going to be starting a little mini part multi-series on how to do a basic 3D gnome. We're going to be using printed vinyl for his hat. Let's go. So today I'm using this 24-ounce plump from Steel Magnolia. It came prepped. I love these things. So I'm just taking a scrap piece of paper and wrapping it around my tumbler, and I'm just making a line on the seam. I'm going to go directly across and make another line. That's where I want the center of my gnome's face to be. So the seam of my printed vinyl is on the opposite side. So I just kind of sketch out his nose, how I want the brim of his hat to be. We're going to take some scissors and go ahead and trim that. Always double check your sizing before you cut your printed vinyl. So I'm going to be using Tangled Christmas Lights vinyl from the glitter guy. I'm going to take my template and just put it on the back of my vinyl, and this is super simple. We're just going to trace it on the back of our vinyl and then cut it out. Super easy. Double check your sizing one more time. Make sure everything lines up. Now we're going to go ahead and apply it. Now this part is super easy. I don't use anything to hold it in place because this is a small piece of vinyl. So I just fold back a little bit of my backing to expose my adhesive, put that on there with my vinyl squeegee, and then use that to push it down on the rest of the tumbler. Very easy. If you want to trim the seam, you can. I don't because there's very tiny overlap. So for our clay, we're going to be using air dry Sculpey. If you are not using printed vinyl for your gnome's hat, you can use regular vinyl and bake it, but obviously we can't bake the vinyl, so air dry it is. This is not my favorite clay, but it gets the job done. So first thing we're going to do is make his nose, and this is really a personal choice if you like a really big nose on your gnome, a small one. I kind of like it in the middle. I like it to be kind of there, but not be gigantic. So I'm going to use some Gorilla Glue to adhere my nose to my tumbler, and I'm going to set that aside, and we'll start working on the brim of his hat. You definitely want to use some type of glue to hold this Sculpey in place because unlike regular Sculpey, it doesn't stick to the cup. It's very annoying, but this is what we're working with, so it's fine. So I'm going to roll out a snake for the brim of his hat, and I'm going to start getting that lined up. Now I'm going to do one side at a time because again, we have to glue this on. So I start kind of at the top of the nose. I'm going to go set that aside for a few minutes and let it dry. This Gorilla Glue gel dries in like 2 minutes. It's great. So now we're going to do one side of his hat, repeat the process, glue that down, give it a couple minutes to dry, do the opposite side, and give that a couple of minutes to dry. Now, as far as connecting your pieces on the back, this stuff does not connect to itself. It is a royal pain. So I put a little bit of glue, I grab just a little scrap piece of clay, and connect those together. Once you're happy with your seam, go ahead and set your tumbler somewhere to dry for about 12 to 24 hours. You need to make sure your clay is completely dry before moving on to the next step. You'll know when it is rock hard. See you tomorrow for part 2. And we'll see you tomorrow.